now you are watching Green Fix, a segment that is particularly directioned toward just ensuring that we take care of our environment, we try and amplify the voices of those who are doing so, and which is why we have our guests in studio. But before we get to our guests and our green warriors tonight, let's talk about our question that is the big why. How prepared are you for this rainy season? The question is, are you prepared for the rainy season that we are going to be experiencing in the near future? We are also going to be talking to you on social media platforms. The TV handle right there, it is at TV47 Kenya. That's our social media handle. On Facebook, you can also find us on X. Aside from that, you can also WhatsApp us and text us. The handles are going to be on your screen in just a moment. There they are. That is the WhatsApp number 0793-267-7279. Once again, that's how you can find us on WhatsApp. You can also text us. That is on your screens once again, 22047. That's how you can find us on SMS. Talk to us. Let us know how prepared you are for the rainy season at TV47 News on X, at TV47 Kenya on Facebook. All right, now today we are going to be discussing a very important topic, that is the role of children in conservation, especially when it comes to environment conservation, to be very specific. So with me in studio, I have my three guests. I'm going to be introducing you to them. They are green warriors in their own way. We have Malkia Oswald, who is a conservationist. We have Damaris Nyaondo, who is a member. She leads climate cohort. We have Faith Awor Adoyo, who is community organizer dedicated to waste management and menstrual health advocacy. They are all young women. And yes, I'm very happy to welcome you to this show and to have this conversation with you. Asante sana for being here. And how do you feel about just talking about this? I know you're very passionate about the environment, about conservation, but we can start off with you.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'd like to start by saying that I'm very passionate about matters going green and climate change and advocacy. I feel extremely privileged to be here to talk about it today, and I feel like more young people should be given the platform to talk about going green.
Thank you so much for coming, Malkia. You're just 15 years old. I'm so happy to see a girl of just 15 years just being so passionate about the environment and just going green. So it's great to see that we have young leaders. Well, people who are not just studying, who are in school, but they're also very woke when it comes to matters, climate change, matters, global warming, and I'm glad that we have people like you. Of course, we also have Faith with us. Faith is a community organizer dedicated to waste management and menstrual health advocacy. She works closely with marginalized communities to promote sustainable waste solutions by upcycling textile waste into reusable menstrual products. This is through community-led initiatives, and she also advocates for eco-friendly menstrual health solutions while creating economic opportunities for women and youth. Another young green warrior. Hi Faith, how are you? And thank you so much for coming. How do you feel being here? And of course, you do something that is very important because as we talk about menstrual health, we need to talk about sustainable menstrual health advocacy, especially when it comes to waste management. So that's something that is very specific. You have a niche. And when did you get into this?
Thank you for having me on board. My name is Faith Awor Adoyo, and I started this advocacy journey back in 2019 when I was still in high school. With the history of where I come from, Mathare slums, there's a need for menstrual hygiene products, and it's a gap that's there. And my aim was to look for locally available materials to curb this problem.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you so much. We also have Damaris. Damaris is, she's from the She Leads Climate Cohort. She's an active member of the She Leads Climate Cohort, and she works alongside other young women to advocate and, of course, to amplify the voices of adolescent girls and young women who are in climate action. Through this platform, she has engaged in policy dialogues. She's also been a part of capacity building initiatives and youth-led advocacy for gender-responsive climate solutions. And yes, I am so happy to have you here. She's the founder of the Young Resilient Advocacy Network as well. That is a community-based organization that integrates climate change advocacy with economic empowerment for governance training as well as creative advocacy. So thank you so much for being here, Damaris. You can tell us a bit about what you do, because I've kind of summarized your profile. But yeah, in a nutshell, what is it that you do and why is it so important?
Thank you for this opportunity. I'm really happy to be here and to meet all of you. My name is Damaris Nyaondo. I'm the founder of Young Resilient Advocacy Network, a community-based organization which focuses with marginalized group, to be precise, young mothers, because I myself am a young mother, and it really motivated me because I felt like as much as I'm doing advocacy, what else can I do for these young women like I myself? That's why I started Young Resilient Advocacy Network, where we use eco-friendly material. We turn waste into eco-friendly materials and we make furnitures. Because at the end of the day, you can't expect to have a GBV survivor in your own group, but you don't give them an alternative.
Right.
So I felt there's need for more economic empowerment. That's why I train these young women who are survivors of GBV on how to make decors out of waste materials. That's what I do.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Very, very inspiring indeed. Now let's get to our topic, the role of children in environment conservation, right? So we can start off by just highlighting how important it is for children to make a significant impact in conserving the environment. You know, in this generation, we always have children talking about the environment in a very different way, in a very different light in comparison to how things were back in the day when there was not much information. You know, they weren't really in tune with what is happening when it comes to global warming, when it comes to climate change, because things weren't as bad then. But now we are in a world where, you know, we are seeing that things are different. The seasons are changing. As of now, we're not supposed to be in this period of extreme heat. Well, now we're getting to the rainy season. But yes, things have changed. And when it comes to the change that we're experiencing, how important is it for children to also be quite in this mental space where they are very well versed with matters climate change and conservation? So we can start off with you.
It's very important, especially considering the fact that we need to foster a future of people that are ready to talk about climate action
Yes.
and environmental sustainability. And I feel like the biggest role that children have to play is definitely in spreading awareness. Just talking about climate action and environmental sustainability is one step forward towards a greener future. And especially now that we're going to be the next leaders, we need to be able to be well versed when it comes to matters environmental sustainability.
All right. Yeah. That's very true. I agree with that, especially when it comes to amplifying the message, the voice, because as you've said, this is the next generation of leaders. And if it starts with them, it's our responsibility to give them the resources and just to be able to give them the knowledge, to be able to pass on this message to future generations and the generations to come. Because who knows, in the next 30 years, we might not have water with the current rate of, you know, the things that we're seeing when it comes to climate change. What about you, Faith? What would you have to say when it comes to just educating children and ensuring that they know what climate action is?
I believe children are influential, being that majority of the Kenyan population right now are children.
Absolutely.
And they are still at an age where we can change their behavior because they adapt easily and they can influence easily. And also another point is that children are influential both in the community and their homes. So when they are taught something at school, they'll take the news back home and the community, hence reaching almost everybody. Yeah.
True. What about you, Damaris? What are your thoughts? You're a mother yourself, as you've said. So how important is it for you to be able to educate your child on matters climate change, on matters climate action, and just so that they're able to have a community where we are fostering this culture of just being able to, you know, have conversations around climate action very positively. Because as of now, you know, when you talk to children, sometimes you don't get the feeling that they know what climate action is. There's very few of them who actually understand what's happening. But yeah, how important is it to start them off early?
Personally, I feel like it's very important for children to understand climate change. Me myself, I can say previously, I didn't know about climate change until I started going to an organization, but I would want that my child to face that. So I feel like I educate my child. You see, you start by the little thing is how to segregate different types of waste. You see, because children are really that easy to understand and also that difficult to control. But once you start teaching them a trend, they'll start practicing it. And it's very important. As they say, change starts at home. Whatever you do, just be careful, because we are talking about environmental conservation, and that starts at the community level where we live. How do we segregate the different types of waste? And how do we teach these young children to start practicing that? You see?
Yeah. True. I'll get back to you, Malkia, because you are in high school. And, you know, when I look at you, I look at a very mature girl. But like when I look at other 15-year-olds, I'm not too sure if they're on the same level of maturity that you are depicting right now as we're having this conversation. So what can you tell me is the general feel in high school about climate change conversations? Are they happening? Are these conversations happening, or are they being considered to be boring and not so cool?
The conversations are happening, especially because of the Going Green initiative, which is this initiative that has been implemented in most public schools. Yes, we have to recognize the fact that conversations concerning climate action are not necessarily appealing to people. They may seem abstract or a bit overwhelming, but a more hands-on approach is what I feel like is helping in spreading the word. When you talk about matters about climate action and advocacy through sports, for example, through like the Vipower initiative, which is using sports advocacy, to talk about climate action and to be able to help people, guess you're using your talents, but also we're trying to teach about climate action. Another thing is gardening, for example, just having small school gardens where you can to teach people about biodiversity and food chains. The more hands-on approach is what is sparking the conversation, as opposed to the normal forum where we sit down and talk about, so this is global warming, so this is acid rain, etc., etc. The more hands-on approach is what is spreading the word, I would like to see.
Okay, I like that. Faith, how can children or even teens who are not fond of climate change conversations now be put into the culture of actually having to listen about what exactly climate change is, having to understand and internalize what exactly needs to be done, and going forward, what is the approach that needs to be taken? So what can we do to have these conversations with them and make them more appealing?
We work with schools. We have school programs, and this is tried and tested, and I can say it's working. How we do it back in Mathare is we have eco competitions where we make learners register for football tournaments through plastic, collection of plastic. So for a team to register to take part in this competition, they have to bring like 1 ton of plastic.
Wow.
So this is an exciting initiative, and I can say it's working. Also, we have scavenger hunts where they bring plastics, a certain amount of plastic, then they are awarded the ones with the highest plastics are awarded a trip to the parks.
Why did we have any of this in high school? I'm just looking at this, I'm listening to what you're saying, Faith, and I love that there is all these different initiatives because they're so creative. You know, they're actually interesting, and it makes you want to do more because it's like a game to them. It becomes a competition. But at the same time, you're passing on the message, which is very important. Brilliant. What else is there?
We have these competitions where we bring teen influencers to their schools.
Wow.
So we are making environmental conversations, like the new trends, the cool stuff.
TikTok trends.
TikTok challenges and trends.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to get involved. Everybody wants a selfie with the teen influencers. So they engage actively in the school clubs.
Okay.
And we've been able to achieve this by introducing like the 4K clubs in schools and working with scout departments. Yeah.
Brilliant. I love this. These are things that I definitely had no idea about, and I'm so glad to see that we're moving in the right direction because, yes, I understand that conversations about climate change are not the most interesting conversations to be had, especially to an 8-year-old or 7-year-old. They don't really understand much, as you said, Malkia. It's a bit overwhelming for them because there's a lot of information out there, and processing all this information is very difficult, especially at one go. So it's nice to do it step by step and achieve all these goals for climate action in a very slow, but I would say consistent way. So brilliant initiatives there. What about you, Malkia? What are some of the initiatives that you've seen or you've heard of, or you also are part of, just trying to initiate with your groups?
For me personally, I feel the use of creative art, the use of art to advocate for climate change. Because kids, once you show a kid something interesting, he will be able to and interested to participate in it.
Wow.
For our case, we use plastic to make art,
Yes.
to make decors such as flower vases, such as, apart from flower vases, we also make ornament out of it. But each time when you approach a kid and you give them such skills, they'll get to understand. For them, it's like a game. You see? How can I say it? These kids can see this plastic as a way of playing game. But you on your side, you know that the more you collect this plastic, the more chances you have of changing your environment, and apart from that, you're also helping the community. So for us, we emphasize more on using art. Yes, that's what we do.
Amazing. I'll start off with you, Malkia. What achievements have you made so far in environmental conservation? What plans do you have to try and amplify the message to reach even more people?
On matters achievements, I was able to chair a debate on the policy in Moigals, where I would like Moigals to be the first public school to go plastic free.
Wow.
So the framework of the policy is still under discussion.
I love that.
And just earlier this week on Tuesday, I was at the Kenya Science and Engineering Fair presenting a project in collaboration with the Power Initiative called the Eco Wall, which is essentially constructing a wall made out of plastic bottles, which also addresses the problem of eco-friendly construction.
Yes.
So especially in Kibera, where my school is located, it will also promote proper housing in low-income areas. So it's addressing both environmental sustainability and eco-friendly type of housing and construction. On matters what I would like to achieve, I would like to leverage my social media, because it's important to recognize that the generation that we are in is very present on the social media field.
Absolutely.
Instead of like on groundwork. So I'd like to leverage that and also partner with NGOs in doing that to be able to give me a bigger platform to talk about matters environmental sustainability and just empowering people, just reminding them that there is hope in an individual, not in the blueprint of a planned society, not in any organization, but in you, the individual. That is what I would like to continue doing as well.
Wow, you're so brilliant. I'm so inspired already because there's so many things that she said that just really touch you, because it just goes to show that at 15 years old, you can make a change, right? Yeah. You don't need to be 50 years old or 40 years old to realize and just to have that awakening of, okay, wow, I need to do something. And even the little bit that I can do, it needs to start now. You don't need to wait to get to a certain stage to realize that we have a huge problem at hand. So well done to you, Malkia. What about you, Faith? What have you been doing? What are some of your accomplishments and achievements when it comes to matters environmental conservation?
Yeah. We've been able to create a community park, that is Madare Community Park. It's a people's park, open for the public. We also have a kids' playground equipped in the park, where the kids themselves designed the park.
Wow.
Yeah. So we also have like board games that we share with the schools that we work with, and they are designed at the back of the exercise books. So it's easy accessing the games. Every learner that has benefited from our program has that book that have a board game back of it that educate them on environmental conservation. We've also managed to form a network of kids from schools along the Mathare River called Mathare River Regeneration Network that runs all the way from Mlango Kubwa to Lakisama. And there's power in masses. So bringing these kids together also help them network and share ideas. What we look forward to do in future is partner with more schools, also design more games that make this conversation appealing. That will only be successful when we have enough funds. So we are looking forward to partnership and collaboration with like-minded organizations.
Amazing. I feel so inspired today. All you women are so brilliant at what you're doing. And it's so nice to see you guys actually being the change makers that we need. And being the next, the late Wangari Maathai's, I can say, daughters, granddaughters. And of course, it's just so nice to see that you guys are actually doing what you can in your own ways to ensure that we tackle this problem head on. So well done to both of you. What about you, Damaris? What is something that you've been doing when it comes to trying to kind of fix this issue? I wouldn't say fix, but just try and do your own thing when it comes to handling matters conservation, as well as trying to really educate the next generation on what can be done to go green.
Yeah, for me personally, under the Young Resilient Advocacy Network, I've been able to create a group of young people because I'm passionate about young girls, to be precise, so that I don't want what I went through, my experience, someone else to go through them.
Yes.
So that's why I started the Climate Change Initiative and Economic Empowerment, where we educate these young people on how to make eco-friendly home decors. Because if you know how to make a home decor that is made out of plastic, then that money, you'll use it to do something else. And to also avoid the cases of GBV, gender-based violence within our communities. And apart from that, we also have a community outreach program, but this community outreach program is specifically for kids, where we meet with kids every Saturday and educate them on climate issues. That is through art and theater, where these children can come, do performances and acting session on climate change. And apart from that, I've been able to also add my skills and get exposures out of the She Leads Climate cohort, where they educate us on the importance of climate change and how we can conserve our environment. And for me, what I will really want the best is for my organization to grow and also build more partners in my community and beyond. Yeah, that's what I wish for.
Brilliant.
Yes.
I love that each one of you is doing something so different, but at the same time, collectively, there is so much positivity that I'm feeling from this conversation, because it just goes to show that to be a change maker, you don't need to have millions and billions of shillings or, resources when it comes to funding, when it comes to just trying to do your bit, trying to do your level best to try and have a responsibility. So collectively, I love that we're trying to put this message across to people who are watching, our viewers at home as well. As you can see on your screens, that is just to show that children can come together. We can all tree plant together. Those are young leaders. There we go. That is a very young girl holding a tree, the seed, if I'm not wrong. Of course, we can see them doing it together. And it just goes to show that parents also have a huge responsibility. Maybe I'll start off with you, Malkia. What are your thoughts on, your parents having an influence on you and making you the woman that you are, making you the young girl that you are today. You are very passionate about the environment. Did your parents have a strong role to play in making you this lady?
Yes, they did. I didn't understand it at the time, but there are small things that they did.
Yeah.
Like they would always tell me to separate my plastics from my compost when we're throwing trash at home, and just encourage me to take a walk, ride a bike instead of going the car to reduce carbon footprint. So now, eventually, now when I've grown up and I was able to understand, also this is what they were doing. So I'm seeing my parents also practicing environmentally sustainable practices. So then it was inbuilt in me that I need to follow that example, as well as just correcting me and I threw a wrapper outside the car window, telling me to go pick it up on the side of the road. Just small actions like that had a huge role in impacting in me and imprinting in me climate action and climate environmental sustainability. Yes, that's the role that they had to play.
All right. So we'll just take a short break and then we'll come back to this conversation. Remember, we are asking you watching at home, the big why tonight is, are you prepared for the rainy season? Once again, on our big why tonight on the Green Fix, are you prepared for this rainy season? Well, tell us. You can talk to us on social media at TV47 Kenya on Facebook, as well as X at TV47. You can also find us on our phone lines. You can WhatsApp us. You can also SMS us and let us know if you are prepared for the rainy season. And that's something that we'll be talking about in a short while. We'll also have that conversation with our guests in studio. But for now, let's take that short break. We'll be right back.